absolutely amazing. We never, ever tire off of it. The guys very, very confident of a Celtic win tonight. These nights are always very special. It's Celtic against Slovan Bratislava in the Champions League with Pat Bonner, James McFadden and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Yes, welcome to Celtic Park for the opening Champions League game of the season. Always a spectacular occasion here, but tonight, perhaps with an added sense of anticipation, with a change in format, a team in terrific form, and a match tonight that comes under the category of extremely winnable. And just listen to that noise that greets the Champions League music. The fans, as ever, doing their bit, creating a cauldron of noise inside Celtic Park. And in a few moments' time, it will be over to the players to continue a wonderful start to the season, to transition seamlessly from their perfect domestic form into a success on the European front. Slovan Bratislava are here to spoil the party, though, in the Champions League for the first time, and looking to make the most of it. But on the face of it, this is a game Celtic should be winning. A team vastly experienced now in European competition, but they have never won on their opening Champions League fixture of the season, looking to put that right tonight in front of a packed house. The two sides lining up for their team photographs. Kasper Schmeichel and Liam Scales having to just be reminded of their duties as they join the starting 11 late. Slovan Bratislava all in black tonight, and the match referees from the Netherlands. In charge is Danny McKelly. As I mentioned earlier on, he took charge of a defeat here against Bayern Munich back in 2017. He also took charge of Scotland against Ukraine in the World Cup playoff semi-final at Hampden when the Scots were defeated. And Callum McGregor receives the Slovan Bratislava pennant, which he swiftly hands over, and he will take his place at the heart of the Celtic huddle as we approach kick-off here. Celtic, of course, in the green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks. Kasper Schmeichel all in yellow, making his Champions League bow for the club, having represented Leicester City back in 2016-17. The crowd acknowledge the Celtic team going into the huddle as Slovan Bratislava line up, ready to kick us off, keen to get us underway. And Celtic, just with our last few words from the skipper, making his 95th European appearance for the club, and then they break out of that huddle. This is the stage where everyone wants to be involved. Players, managers, fans and journalists alike, and it will be the visitors to get us underway as they look to silence this huge crowd inside Celtic Park. But Slovan Bratislava very much coming into this game as underdogs as they get us going here, going from right to left, as Vladimir Weiss has given a particularly hostile welcome from the Celtic fans for the season he spent on loan at Rangers a number of years ago. Here he is in possession, 34 years of age, and he's lost out to Nicholas Kuhn, but he swiftly won it back. Kuhn trying a ill-advised back heel. Weiss trying to move in field, but he runs into Engels, who gets the ball to Hatate midway inside his own half, and swiftly out to the left-hand side for Maida. Celtic looking to start the game quickly and get this crowd even further behind them as Taylor then clips it forward, looking for the on-rushing Hatate, left-hand side of the penalty area, tries to get it into the box, but it's tamely into the arms of Dominic Takac at the start of this game. A minute played, it's Celtic 0, Slovan Bratislava 0.
Yeah, Slovan Bratislava trying just to take the heat out of the game a little bit from the kick-off, just trying to get a wee bit of control of the ball, keeping it away from Celtic, and Celtic trying to press him and to get it back, and the game hasn't quite settled down yet.
Slovan have it in the middle of the park, and now back with the left back, Ivan Vumer. He plays it forward, looking long there for the forward run. Strelic, I don't know what he was doing there, because he could have seen that out of play, but he allowed the ball to hit his boot, Faddy, and it's now a Celtic throw-in.
Yeah, the ball goes in behind, he puts Cameron Carter-Vickers under enough pressure where he just goes to head it out for a throw-in, and it looked like Strelic was running to take a quick throw. I don't know if he changed his mind at the end, tries to take a touch, gets it all wrong, and ends up giving the ball back to Celtic.
It's going to be Slovan Bratislava throw-in now. Alistair Johnston thought it was his, but no. Bratislava get this award, and it will be taken by Wimmer, the Austrian fullback. He plays centre-back as well, but he's in at fullback tonight on the... It's actually going to be a free kick. Didn't see anything untoward happening. The referee says it is a free kick, and it's swiftly switched over to the right-hand side for the Panamanian Blackman fullback, who's up in an advanced position now. He's kept it in well, and it's driven into the Celtic penalty. Well defended by Liam Scales. 2.5 in, no goals, as Celtic knock out for a throw-in on the far side. But I think a lot of people at Pakia, you know, I think we've all said we expect Celtic to win this one, but Slovan Bratislava clearly can't be underestimated.
No, and they've started off well. You know, they've come into this game. They were probably trying to kill it off a little bit, but Celtic haven't quite got into their stride. So they've had a good, decent start.
Yeah, Engels trying to drive Celtic forward there, but he runs into Wimmer, who's able to clear it upfield, and it's now back with Kasper Schmeichel, the Dane. Plays it out short to Liam Scales as the crowd keep up the noise in these opening minutes with no goals scored as yet. Scales just plays it back to Schmeichel. He's quickly put under pressure. Schmeichel out to Carter-Vickers to his right-hand side. Carter-Vickers, who rarely looks flustered, plays it to Johnson, and now he's back with McGregor on the edge of his own box, and back with Schmeichel again, who's cool, and plays it out to McGregor under a fair bit of pressure there, but Celtic have got round the initial press and can come forward now with Johnston on the halfway line. Weiss trying to make the challenge on him, but Johnston holds him off and then clips it forward. A wonderful ball for Maida. Maida's in here on the left-hand side, just off target from the Japanese. First opportunity of the game. Maida coming in from the left, just too high with the effort. 4 minutes played. Celtic 0, Slovan 0.
I'll tell you what, a goal that would have been. The play from Celtic under pressure from a Slovan Bratislava side that we were led to believe we're going to play on the counter-attack. They're pressing Celtic high. The ball goes to Schmeichel, out to the right back area, back into Cal McGregor, and they just play out of the press. And then when it comes to Alistair Johnson, Dyson Maida, as soon as he gets beyond Vladimir Weiss, makes a run from the left inside. He picks him out. I actually thought he was going to square it to Kyogo for the tap-in, which we've seen so many times, but Maida goes for goal and just sees it go over the bar. But what a move it was from Celtic.
Brilliant move, and you know, the fans got to get used to this probably in Europe, because teams will come and they press really well there, but the composure of Celtic to break that press and then set themselves up for that, really, you got to call it almost a ball over the top. It wasn't a penetrating pass, but made it just leaning back at the vital moment.
Carter-Vickers on the edge of his own penalty area finds Johnston. Johnson nods it forward for Engels. Engels brushed aside there by Tolic, and it will be a Celtic free kick just inside their own half on the right flank, just a yard or so in from the touchline, just in front of Brendan Rodgers. It's quickly taken by Johnston. So the first chance of the game goes Celtic's way, but Maida failing to hit the target. But it was a wonderful move, as the guys have described, straight from the back through the thirds, and Maida just off target in the end, as Scales picks up just inside his own half and plays out to the left-hand side to Hatate. Hatate further left to Maida, and back with Hatate just a bit on the halfway line. Plays it square to Carter-Vickers. 5.5 played, no goals at Celtic Park in this opening Champions League game of the season. Here's Kuhn now on the right-hand side, tries to get the better of Weiss. Weiss sliding in, knocks it back the way to McGregor. There might have been a free kick in there if Celtic had lost possession, but they still have it as Johnston finds Hatate, tries to play that across goal, and the goalkeeper would have taken it quite comfortably, but decides to just leave it for it to go out behind for a goal kick. 6 minutes in, goalless between Celtic and Slovan Bratislava, but good start by Celtic.
Yeah, and now they've just settled into the game, and their confidence is up. And that run again from Maeda in behind the full back across the line, just Hatate's pass or come pass just wasn't that accurate.
Slovan Bratislava robbed the possession in the middle of the park. Kyogo looked to be taken out from behind there, but the referee allowing play to continue with Slovan Bratislava in possession, but only momentarily as Callum McGregor drives his side forward, midway inside the Slovan half, linked with Hatate. Now it's McGregor, edge of the box, right-footed pass. Kyogo can't bring it under control, and it's not clear by Wimmer as Celtic continue to try and press for this opening goal. 7 minutes played. Here's Scales stepping in, just losing out though, and it's played forward down the right-hand side, and it's Strelic on the right flank for Slovan Bratislava. They're getting bodies forward. Weiss wants it at the back post. Still it's Strelic, gets the shot away, it's deflected onto the roof of the net, and that shows you that it's this side, as I say, I'm not to be underestimated. Corner kick Slovan.
No, they're not. It's a fast break down the right-hand side, and Strelic, he's got one thing in his mind, to cut onto his left foot and get the shot away. If he gets his head up, Vladimir Weiss is making the run to the back post. If he squares it, it's a much better chance for him. But showing that threat in the counter, good pace. Celtic going to step out and commit bodies forward, then they will be able to offer a threat in the counter.
Corner kick from the left-hand side to be taken by Tigran Barsegian. Right-footed, swings it in towards the back post, and it's headed well clear by Johnston. Comes back though to Barsegian, left-hand side, swings it into the back post again, but that's too much on it, and behind for a goal kick. Almost 8 on the clock. Celtic 0, Slovan 0, but package Slovan beginning to show their own teeth.
Yeah, absolutely. Liam Scales did well, actually stepped out and that, but just couldn't get the final maybe control of the ball, and then he was out of position, and they've played it in behind, down that channel in behind Greg Taylor, and Celtic were short at the back, and that was the point I was making about Alistair Johnston. He was in really tight to Carter Vickers, and Weiss was away on his back post.
Here's Taylor down the left-hand side for Celtic in an advanced area, plays it off the Slovan defender Kasia, and out for a throw over on the far side, about 15 yards from the corner flag on Celtic's left-hand side. Maeda making a couple of different movements. It's into the feet of Hatate in the end, and then not behind for a Celtic corner over on the left-hand side, right in front of the Green Brigade, who are bouncing away there in the safe standing section. Albeit I think it's seated on European nights, isn't it? But I don't think there's too much sitting down going on there, as Celtic have this corner to be taken by Engels on the left-hand side. The right-footed Belgian will look to swing this in. Plenty of options in the area, including Carter Vickers and Scales. Hatate and Taylor lurking on the edge, as is Captain McGregor. Engels over it then. Swings that into the near post area. It's a Slovan head that wins it though. Hatate just knocks it all the way back to Johnston inside the centre circle. 9 minutes in, no goals. You're listening to Sports Sound on this Champions League night on BBC Radio Scotland and on Sounds, as Engels goes all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, who's about 20 yards outside of his penalty area. He plays it to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Into the feet now of Hatate. Hatate on the edge of the centre circle in the Slovan half, plays it square to Taylor, who likewise finds Carter Vickers. Johnston comes and looks for it, right hand side. The pace of the game just slowing momentarily.
Yeah, well, Celtic are playing exactly how they play in their own domestic league. Obviously, Greg Taylor inverted fullback, two midfielders pushed high, Callum McGregor sitting player, Alistair Johnston's pushing high on the right hand side. So they are big spaces down the side of the centre half for them to counter attack. So they have to be really sure, Celtic, in their passing, no silly mistakes.
Slovan happy enough for Celtic to have it on the halfway line. Now they will try and engage as Kuhn picks up right hand side, midway inside the Slovan half, and it's Johnston with the crossing opportunity, plays it off Ignatenko. It's going to be another Celtic corner, this time on the right hand side. 10.5 played as Celtic look for the opener. Engels, although he's just in the team, he's quickly on all the set pieces. Plays that one short for Kuhn, who's just knocked the ball out of play. That wasn't a particularly well worked one. It's going to be a throw-in to Slovan Bratislava, deep inside their own territory, left-hand side. Almost 11 played, Celtic 0, Slovan 0.
Engels was trying to play that. I think it was Greg Taylor that was actually coming over, and it hits Kuhn. But you mentioned just in the team, and he's on the set plays, his technique's unbelievable. His delivery is exceptional. There's no surprise he's in there.
Here's Kuhn on the edge of the box, finds Kyogo inside the area. There's a sliding challenge there from the veteran Kasia to take it behind again. Otherwise, Kyogo might have been able to get the shot away, but it's going to be another corner, right-hand side. Again, Engels comes across, and he slides this one to Greg Taylor inside the area. Cross for Maida, straight at the keeper. Should have done better. 8 yards out. Either side of the keeper, and he's probably scoring, but it's straight into the gloves of Takac, and the chance is gone. Celtic 0, Slovan 0.
It was a great corner kick though, well worked. They tried it earlier with Engels and it was blocked. This time Greg Taylor getting into a great position on the right side inside the box, nobody picking him up, and he was able then to put a lovely little cross in. And yeah, you're right, Maeda should have done better. Heads it straight at the goalkeeper, who didn't even have to dive and got his hands on it. Anywhere in the corner, I think from that distance, I think it was a goal.
Yeah, he gets in there early as well. He's unmarked, as you say. It's a great little pick out from Greg Taylor with the right foot, and he just doesn't get enough on it. Straight at the goalkeeper.
Here's Blackman into the penalty area. Slovan looking to try and create an opportunity. The shot does come in into the arms of Kasper Schmeichel, but the Slovan player who stayed down was slipping as he tried to get the shot off. Can't quite see who it actually was just at the moment, but in any case, Schmeichel was comfortably able to take that one.
Schmeichel's thrown the ball. Greg Taylor thought it was for him, but it looks like and now, because the ball's going straight out for a throw-in, Schmeichel's trying to claim that he was thrown it out to allow some treatment for the Bratislava player.
The ball's back with Slovan Bratislava. 13 minutes played, long ball forward, but it's going to go all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel. Celtic not being able to find that opening goal they craved early on, but they've had a decent amount of pressure. But Slovan do look dangerous when they get into possession as well, so this is far from a foregone conclusion. Don't let anybody kid you otherwise. Slovan Bratislava, having come through 4 qualifying ties to take their place for the very first time in the Champions League, including a victory in the playoff against Midtjylland of Denmark. So there are no mugs, but Celtic looking to try and impose themselves here at Celtic Park, but it will be a Slovan throwing over on the far side.
Now that's the beauty about European football though. You know, you're up against a team, you're not too sure how they're going to play. You can do your homework on them, but they're not just sitting back all the time. They have a little bit of threat about them too, and that's why they're in the Champions League, let's face it, and it's a really good standard, really interesting game.
Celtic have the throwing over on the far side, more or less midway inside the Slovan half, left-hand side, as Celtic come forward to be taken by Greg Taylor. Taylor looking for options. Eventually goes into Hatate, who goes forward to Maida, and back with Taylor. A little bit further advanced, another throw-in, and this time, again, it's into Hatate, who just moves away from his marker, tries to play the ball forward. There's a handball there, and it will be a Celtic free kick about 30 yards from goal, left of centre, but a good position to try and get this one into the box.
It's excellent from Hatate. The first throw-in, Greg Taylor didn't have the option, and then eventually they get it in, but then it goes out for the throw-in, the first, and then he throws it back to Hatate, who goes, steps towards the ball, just lets it run across his body, defender buys it, and he's in and around the edge of the box, tries to play that little defence split pass that we all know Celtic love to play, and they've got a good opportunity here. I spoke about Engels and his technique. It's a good distance for him.
Do you think he'll go hit the target here, or try to hit the target?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is within shooting distance, you'd have to say, for the right-footed Engels. Kuhn is over it as well. The left foot could play it into the box, but it does look like Engels is lining up a shot on goal here. Quarter of an hour played. Celtic looking for the opening goal. It is Engels who curls it, but it hits the top of the wall. One of the players gets his head to it. Weiss will go and try and keep it in. He's managed to do so. He's barged aside by Maida. Weiss thought he'd kept that winning again, but it has gone behind for a corner, and the Celtic fans rise again in encouragement of their side as Engels prepares to take yet another corner kick in these early stages. This one left-hand side, as the home side look to try and make this early pressure tell. Engels with the right foot preparing to swing this one into the area. Just biding his time. And now he steps up, swings it in near post, glances on, and it's come off another Slovan body, and it's going to go behind for yet another corner. It's a vicious in-swinger at that near post, and just needed a touch there. But eventually a Slovan body was in the way, and it'll be another corner kick to be taken on once more by Engels. Left-hand side once more, right-footed. And it comes again, it's a near post delivery, goal! Celtic in front! Liam Scales at the near post was the man with the header. Brilliant delivery and a powerful header. The keeper got something on it, but he couldn't keep it out. It's Celtic 1, Slovan 0.
I was just going to say before the corner kick, and I didn't have time, that they were setting up zonally. They weren't almost going man for man and allowing Celtic that little bit of movement off the players, and that was the movement that Liam Scales, and then the quality of the ball in with pace. All he's got to do is get his head on it, direct it on goal, and it almost hits the goalkeeper up in the top of the net and gives Celtic that perfect start, because I think this is a type of a team that you need to get that first goal against.
It's a perfect delivery from Arne Engels. So much pace on it, so much dip, and he just whips it right into the front post area, beyond 2 or 3 Slovan players that are in that space. And Liam Scales, the power is all in the cross, but it's a great header. Goalkeeper absolutely no chance.
Here's Kuna, Keel goes in for a second, good save. Takat's keeping that out with his foot as Kyogo almost made it a quick fire second for Celtic, but they do have the 1-goal advantage as Weiss has caught Engels off the ball, and he finds himself in the book for his trouble there. Didn't quite see, I just saw Engels hitting the deck and Weiss being spoken to.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I took my eye off it because I was looking at the player on the ball. What kind of pass was he going to hit?
Unfortunately, we all will.
and that, so I didn't quite see what happened, but he's gone in, Engels into the tackle with him, and Weiss must have almost retaliated a little bit, so it's a free kick, and it breaks up that counter-attack from Slovan Bratislava.
Here's Johnston in, free kick quickly taken, Weiss on a yellow card, barges Johnston off the ball. The crowd now baying for a second yellow for Weiss, who just is getting himself caught up in the occasion. Johnston taken out on the goal line, that looked like a free kick. The referee's pointed for a goal kick, but looked to me he was barged off the ball there by Wimmer as he tried to keep it in play. Well, it is Celtic 1, Slovan Bratislava 0. It could have been 2, but for a good save.
Brilliant save
From Kyogo's effort, but Celtic certainly got their noses in front, and good value for it.
Should have been 2. That is a brilliant save. Kyogo takes a really good touch, has faced the goalkeeper up. He has to be finding the back of the net there.
Vladimir Weiss is in danger of losing control here, because he's now motioning to the 4th official, having already been booked for the off-the-ball challenge on Engels. And although he's a 34-year-old captain of Slovan Bratislava, he'll need to show all his experience here to just regain control, or Slovan could be down to 10 pretty sharply. Here's Scales, the goal scorer, 2nd goal of the season for him. He's played long over the top, looking for Kyogo. That should be the keeper's ball, and indeed it is. Taken comfortably by Dominik Takac, who was a summer signing from Spartak Trnava, coming in to replace Milan Borjan, who departed for Saudi Arabia. Who launches it long downfield. It's headed clear. Blackman gets his head to it. Celtic looking to put a bit of pressure on the Slovan back line, knocked forward there by Kasia, and over on the right-hand side is Strilic, the centre forward. It's out for a throw into Slovan, who just need to recover their composure, having gone that goal down just a few moments ago. Celtic will certainly look to be keeping the pressure on them. is Slovan in possession through Tolic, now back with Wimmer into the feet of Strelic. Tokic picks up and finds the veteran Jutska out to the right-hand side now. And it's swung into the back post. Weiss will try and keep it in. Johnston steps in. And it's going to be a goal kick. Weiss thought he kept it in. Looked like Johnston might have turned it behind for a corner, but the assistant on the far side flags for a goal kick. And 21 minutes in, it's Celtic 1, Slovan 0.
Yeah, it was good play from Slovan. Knocking the ball about, looking for the switch of play. When it comes to Weiss, he needs to go with his left foot. For some reason, he's at full stretch. He tries to do something with the outside his right boot, and the ball goes out for the goal kick. But they haven't really been spooked by the atmosphere or the fast start, showing that they can get their foot in the ball and knock it about. But likewise, Celtic look supremely confident, even if they're being put under a little bit of pressure as a team from Slovan. They're just playing their pass, making sure that they find one of their teammates, not flustered at all. They look like they're enjoying themselves, and quite rightly so.
Yeah, it's Johnston in possession as we approach the midway point, as Alistair Johnston catches Weiss very late, but there was a previous foul by Wimmer on Kuhn, and Johnston's also been shown a yellow card, as has Wimmer. So two challenges in very quick succession there, both resulting in yellow cards, but the free kick should be Celtic's for the initial challenge on Kuhn. Wimmer was very late on him.
Yeah, listen, Johnston was late also, and he was lucky that the foul was given initially, and the referee had given it. I think if it was a standalone foul on his own, I think he would have been in trouble, because he was very, very late, caught him high also.
Yeah, I think he felt as though it was almost a freebie for him, because the referee had blown the whistle. He could get a little kick at Vladimir Weiss.
Well, it will be a Celtic free kick. Weiss is just having a bit of spray on the leg there after that challenge from Johnston, who, as I mentioned, goes into the book, as does the fullback of Slovan, Kevin Wimmer. But now Johnston and Weiss up against each other, both on yellows. Quite spicy out there. Vladimir Weiss certainly adding to that with his Rangers background, as Cameron Carter-Vickers picks up in the middle of the park. Down the left-hand side comes Celtic now. 23 minutes played, and Liam Scales' goal separates the two sides, scored in the 17th minute from an Engels corner. Powerful header as Bersegian picks up right-hand side, but can't get the better of Greg Taylor. Callum McGregor in to help out as well, as Taylor works it back to Scales. And Bersegian, as much as he's certainly one of the danger men for Slovan, hasn't really been able to get into the game as yet. That's given away by Carter-Vickers to Weiss, who was trying to find Johnston. Back comes Kuhn to help out his teammate and wins it back and plays it back to Carter-Vickers on the edge of his own penalty area.
He's still got a little bit of pace though, hasn't he, Weiss? He gets himself around the pitch very, very well. What is he, 34 years old now?
Yeah. Retiring at the end of the season by all accounts. But leading his side here into their first Champions League campaign. Guided to the Champions League by his father, also Vladimir, who masterminded Celtic's 5-0 defeat by Armedia Bratislava many years ago. Gordon Strachan's first European encounter. Here's Alistair Johnston out to Engels, right-hand side, midway inside the Slovan half. Plays it forward again for Johnston. Johnston into the box, but knocked away by Wimmer. Wimmer only as far as Engels though. Right-hand side once more, just leaves it to Johnston. 24.5 played, 1-0 Celtic lead. Liam Scales, the goal scorer. You get highlights from 10 o'clock tonight on the iPlayer, on the BBC Sport app, and at our BBC Sport website, of this game and all others that have been played up until this evening, as the Champions League comes to BBC TV as well as radio. Here's Hattati inside the area, lays it by for Engels, powerful shot, pushed away, Taylor back into the area, it might come for Kuhn, he can't connect, and Slovan survive, but only just, as Engels comes close to adding a second goal. What a hit it was from Engels, but just straight at the keeper again. Otherwise it might well have been 2-0.
That was, the build-up was brilliant. Hattati dropping out into that sort of almost left midfield side, because Greg Taylor had come in the inside, pulled his player in, that space was there, and then from there on you could see how Celtic built the game up, and eventually when they cut that ball onto Ingles at the edge of the box, it was a powerful shot, and if it was anywhere either side of the goalkeeper, I think it would have been the back of the net.
Nicholas Kuhn as well, when the cross came in, if he gets a contact on it, he goes getting in at the back post, swings at it with the left, just misses the ball. So that's another good chance as well.
Free kick in the halfway line to the visitors, quickly taken by Kasia, the Georgian, 37-year-old. As Engels is caught again in the middle of the park, and we're going to get another yellow card there. I think it's Tollitz, the number 10, indeed it is, who slid in again on Engels. Engels has clearly been pinpointed as one of the danger men for Celtic, having come in for big money, obviously just a couple of weeks ago.
But what I like about he's got stature, isn't he, Engels? You know, he's not a little boy. You know, he looks like he's in a man's body, put it that way.
Yeah, and he bounced straight back up after that challenge, as well as he did for the previous one where he was caught. So doesn't mind the physical side of the game as Blackman tries to come forward and get the better of Maida. He's done well. The Panamanian international drives it against the Celtic player and behind for a corner off Taylor, I think it was, over on that far side, and it will be a Slovan corner as they look to get back on level terms.
This will be a test. They've got a bit of height about their team. Centre back, midfield, across I think they've got about 4 or 5 players just all around, about maybe just over 6 foot, 6'2". So they have got to really mark their man-for-man marking in the box, make sure that their player they're marking doesn't get away from them.
Bersegian's taking the short corner, gets it back on that right-hand side, left-footed, tries to get it beyond Callum McGregor, but fails to do so. It comes off McGregor, but breaks the way off Slovan, and it's Blackman on this left-hand side now. Now Weiss, midway inside the Celtic half, into Kasia, who's still well advanced. Couldn't keep hold of it, but Slovan have it back only momentarily as Taylor picks up possession, and there is McGregor out to Hatate, left-hand side, still inside his own half, about 10 yards or so. The fans urging Celtic forward quickly, but it's a more measured approach on this occasion from the home side as Carter Vickers picks up. They don't want to do anything too risky, as much as they want to be on the front foot and get the ball forward quicker, as the guys were saying, perhaps than we've seen previously under Brendan Rodgers. That's not at any cost. Here's Kuhn, right hand side now, back to McGregor. He's had a wonderful goal scoring start to the season. Now Taylor, central position, back with McGregor. Now he finds Hatate. Hatate closed down by Ignatenko. Taylor's picked up a good position, slides it in. He was looking for Kyogo, who I think might just have been offside. It was a disguised pass, so well disguised that Kyogo didn't see it either, and it's behind for a goal kick, and it remains after 28 minutes. Celtic 1, Slovan 0.
Yeah, I think he done everybody in the stadium as well, because I thought Greg Taylor was going to pull the trigger and have a shot. I think Kyogo was offside, but it's a great idea because everyone's going rushing to try and block that shot that we all think is going to happen. He just spots Kyogo, it's overhit. But it's great play again. Greg Taylor coming in, trying to create that overload in the midfield. Couple of passes in around the edge of the box. Celtic have another chance to get a shot at goal, but chooses the pass option on that occasion.
It's the third meeting between these sides, first since the second leg in 1964. It was a Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final, and I read on the fabulous Celtic wiki page that ahead of the first leg here at Celtic Park, the Slovan players stayed up late into the night to watch Cassius Clay beat Sonny Liston for the heavyweight title of the world.
Years ago.
1964, Packy, you'll remember it well.
What were you doing
Paddy,
before that game?
Paddy and I, much too young to remember that.
Oh, you were tucked up in your bed ready for the game.
I was having my bottle in the bed, just getting ready to. There was no TV then or any little games that
Celtic emerging on top in that two-legged affair. 1-0 they won in both legs. 1-0 they lead tonight, but they're under pressure here. And it's Weiss with a big chance. Can he get the equaliser? Or why did he turn back? Still tries to get the shot away. It bounces around, and then Celtic pump it clear. But why, oh why, did Vladimir Weiss not pull the trigger with the goal gaping?
Only he knows, and if he does, I'm not saying he's going to score, but he's got a better chance of scoring because the play is really good. It's a defence-splitting pass. All he has to do, because his body shape's all there, is open his right foot up and go for that far corner. I have no idea why he turns back into traffic. As soon as he does, the chance is gone. And that is another warning sign for Celtic that Slovan are pretty dangerous on the counter-attack. It comes from Cameron Carter-Vickers actually, stepping into midfield, and he gets his header all wrong. Instead of heading it forward, it goes back the way and puts Celtic under a bit of pressure, but that's a let-off.
Yeah, but Strelic up front too almost picked a really good pass. It wasn't a square pass, it was a pass in behind Johnson, and you're right, he should have took it onto his left and stroked it past.
He didn't have to change too much as he runs, because his body's already open. He just needs to open the side foot and pass that into the corner and make, you know, Kasper Schmeichel at least make a save.
Yeah, well, there was a quick check going on as well after that. I think possibly for a handball. There's a slight claim as Weiss eventually got the shot away. It came off a couple of bodies, but nothing doing in terms of the check. And with 31 minutes played, it's Celtic 1, Slovan Bratislava 0.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can't afford to make any silly mistakes. You know, Carter-Vickers that time, I think there was nobody really on him. He's just coming on to hit a ball, and he's almost totally misjudged it.
Maida giving chase to Hatati's forward ball. He'll catch that. He's very, very quick, the Japanese winger, and he's got it back to Hatati, left-hand side, into Engels. Engels touching it back to the goal scorer, Scales. Those two combined for the opening goal. Engels corner. Scales with a powerful header past the goalkeeper. Got a touch to it, but couldn't keep it out. Will the keeper be disappointed with himself, Packy, or was it just too much power in the effort?
I think it was he tried to get his hands. He almost couldn't get his hands up because of the power in it. No, I wouldn't be blaming the goalkeeper. Not he had a great save after that. Really great save.
Yeah, to deny Kyogo a second, just about a minute afterwards. It's Scales for Carter-Vickers inside Slovan territory. Now Johnston, right-hand side, back to Carter-Vickers. 32 in, 1-0 Celtic lead. Square for Scales. Edge of the centre circle, forward for Engels now. Midway inside the Slovan half. Back the way again for Carter-Vickers. Every Slovan player back inside their own quarter of the pitch. Strelic, most advanced, is chasing it down now as Scales in possession. Over to the left-hand side, though, he goes to Maida. He's got Blackman to try and take on. He nudges it back to McGregor here. Left-hand side is Taylor. Taylor just outside the penalty. He goes all the way back to the edge of the centre circle for Cameron Carter-Vickers. Now it's Johnston. Back to Carter-Vickers once more. Patient stuff from Celtic. They know the openings will come if they're patient enough.
Yeah, just keep moving the ball and looking, and players off the ball, making those little runs and getting into little spaces and hoping that somebody will drop their guard, and Celtic have got the ability to pick that player out and create the opportunity.
Here's Scales out to the left once more for Maida, midway inside the Slovan half. Plays it forward for Taylor, who lets it run for Hatati, but there's a little bit of a mix-up there, but Maida's nipped into it back. Hatati has it, looking for Kyogo over the top from Kyogo. Oh, that's a poor finish by his standards. He scoops it over the top, leaning back as Hatati played it square, almost from the penalty spot. Kyogo got it all wrong, and it remains Celtic 1, Slovan 0.
That quick counter press, you know, the Celtic just give the ball away in the front of probably about 25 yards out, but they won the ball back so quickly with a great almost reaction from Maeda, and they end up then getting into a brilliant position, and Kyogo's got to score.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of confusion. The ball goes into Taylor. He tries to leave it in the end for Hatati, but again, reaction to win it back is excellent. When Hatati pops up on the left-hand side, I would need to see it again to try and defend Kyogo slightly. It may well have been behind him ever so slightly, but at least test the goalkeeper. Celtic have some really good opportunities to have a far more comfortable lead.
Johnson with the clearing header as Slovan tried to come forward. Gets it to Engels and back to Carter-Vickers in the edge of his penalty area. Just about 10 minutes left until the interval. Celtic with a 1-goal advantage, courtesy of a Liam Scales header in 17 minutes. Here he is passing it back to Kasper Schmeichel, who hasn't had too much to deal with. A couple of shots that were more or less straight at him. Slovan have had their own moments in the game, but Vladimir Weiss perhaps passing up their best chance, cutting back in field when he should have shot a goal. Kutska forcing it forward, Ignatenko getting onto it, and then Strelic with a header. And back comes Kuhn to get it to Johnston, who in turn finds Carter-Vickers. And the Celtic crowd appreciate the defensive work as much as the offensive work that's been going on over the course of this evening. Here's Scales, bring it up towards the halfway line. Passes it out to Hatati on the left-hand side. Taylor, the ever-willing runner, ahead of him. Hatati comes back in field. And back to Scales on the halfway line. McGregor back with Scales once more. And now Hatate again gets turned and plays it into Engels. Hatate once more. Celtic dominating possession, that's for sure, as Engels has it once more, the 21-year-old Belgian. Signed from Augsburg just on deadline day. And already looks a very astute signing. Time will tell if he is a bargain at the 11 million that was reported, but certainly he looks like a very, very promising player, and one who will no doubt get better as Brendan Rodgers has time to work with him. Cameron Carter-Vickers in possession with 9 minutes left in the first period here at Celtic Park. Now it's Johnston just inside the Slovan half. Now Engels popping up on the right-hand side, clips it forward, looking for Kuhn. Wimmer gets his head to it. Weiss comes back to help him out. Looked like Kuhn might have just been offside, but Wimmer was taking no chances, and he has the ball back and he clips it forward, looking for Strelic, but it's over him and it's over McGregor, and it's Carter-Vickers who picks up and gets it back from Taylor.
Yeah, they're well organised, weren't they? Slovan Bratislava players. You can see that they're well drilled in that defensive situation, waiting for Celtic to make a little slip up so they can maybe hit them in the counter. It's keeping the two up front. They're playing in a 4-4-2, almost roll, and somebody just dropping in on top of McGregor when they have to.
Yeah, Tollitz is playing pretty advanced, isn't he? I've got him down as a 10, but he's almost, as you say, Packy, right up alongside Strelic as Celtic trying to come forward down the right, but that's cut out by the left centre-back, who is Kenan Bajric, a Slovenian international.
Yeah, 37 minutes gone. It's kind of a half that you don't want to come to an end. The way the Celtic are playing, with the tempo they're playing and so on. And if they could get that second goal before half-time, then I think it would be a much more relieved manager and a group of players, because this team is dangerous.
McGregor has it, plays it short to Scales, just crossing the halfway line now. The Irish defender, the man whose goal has made the difference between the sides. Just at the moment, Blackman with the challenge on Maida, but it's back with Scales, and now it's Carter-Vickers. Now Johnston picks up and steps forward a couple of yards, tries to find the pass to Kyogo, but back there was going Kutska, the veteran midfielder, and he plays it back to his goalkeeper Takats, who immediately gets out to the right-hand side to Kasia. Kasia closed down by Hatate, who does get the ball forward, but it's a rather aimless one from the Georgian, who's played 119 times, and at 37 years old is still represented his country. Played all the games at the Euros. Yes, as here comes Hatate coming forward for Celtic up towards the edge of the penalty area. Kasia, though, was on his toes, and Kyogo was second to it, and then there's a foul there. And Slovan get the free kick just about 10 yards outside their own penalty area. 7 minutes to play in this first period. Would Celtic be happy going in at just the 1-0 up, James, or are they, you know, obviously they're keen to get a second and get that further advantage, but is 1-0 okay for them at this stage?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, you know, the fact they've got a lead and they've had chances to extend that. Also with the warning, you know, that Slovan are not here just to, you know, lay down and roll over. But I think you've got to be happy if you go into a game, the Champions League, with a lead, then you have to see it as a positive. Probably just reinforce that message. You take your chances when they come. Maybe try and, you know, move Slovan about a little bit more, because it has been really controlled possession. No rush, as I said. They look so comfortable. They don't look flustered at any point. They want more, but I think they'll be happy with what they've got.
Ball's out of play over on the far side for a Celtic throw-in. Blackman just bumping into Greg Taylor, who took a little knock there as a result, but it's going to be him to take the throw-in. Just five and a half minutes of the half remaining. 1-0 Celtic lead in this Champions League Matchday 1 game, and looking to put 3 points on the board in the new league phase as Johnston plays it infield to McGregor, who gets there just ahead of Strelic and knocks it back to Schmeichel, who in turn finds Scales forward for McGregor. McGregor out to the left-hand side for Taylor. Taylor on the left flank forward to Maida. Maida tries a little spin away from Blackman, and McGregor trying to help him out, but it's a foul on Blackman. The Celtic fans not exactly in accord with the Dutch official there, but it is a free kick Slovan's way, and it's quickly taken and forward by Kasia. Scales wins the header, and then back comes Engels to nod it down to Carter-Vickers midway inside his own half. Celtic coming into this one with just 1 defeat in 31 games in all competitions. That away at Hearts back in March, 126 and drawn 4 otherwise, and since that defeat it's 116 and drawn 2, and looking to make that 117 and drawn 2 by the end of this evening. They're halfway towards doing that as Maida comes forward down the left hand side. Taylor again goes ahead of him, but he goes back the way instead to Scales, about 15-20 yards inside Slovan half. Kyogo now laying it off for Johnston, out to the right hand side. It's Kuhn about 10 yards from the goal line, up against Wimmer, plays it to Wimmer almost, and then Weiss is back there helping out and picks up possession just outside his own box, checks back inside again, and then tries to find a dangerous looking ball. Slovan just eventually hacking it away. Strelic is quickly closed down by Carter Vickers. That's that big counter press that Packy's been talking about as well, and Celtic winning it back in a good area. Here's Scales, on you go, James.
It's just the contrast, you know, speaking about Celtic, when the ball goes back to Scales, Carter Vickers, whether it comes to Johnson, whoever it is, composure. They look calm, they're looking for their options. Vladimir Weiss had a chance to maybe break a little bit higher, but I can understand why he never. But when it goes back to the defenders, it's like panic, just clear it wherever you can, and that's down to the pressure that Celtic put them under.
Yeah, just a little bit more movement ahead of the ball would be good. There's a great drop off from Kyogo.
Yeah, lays it off to Engels. Engels out to the right hand side for Kuhn. Kuhn inside the penalty area, back onto the left foot, stands it up for Maida. Maida stretching. Yeah, he should have probably left that for Hatate, who was in behind him. Not sure if he got the shout or not, but he was already up in the air and he tried to direct it goalwards, but he's off target with the header. 42 in, Celtic 1, Slovan 0.
Well, they've no excuse because they're 2 Japanese players. They can communicate to each other, and if he had to leave and just duck it, I think Hatate would have chested that down and had a chance to really nobody picking him up at the back post.
Yeah, it was another half-decent chance, you would have to say. Maybe more than that if it had been left to Hatate, but you can understand Maida going for it.
It was a good play. When it comes to Engels, he's just probably in line with the near post as we look at it. It looked like he was going to take his touch and get a shot away, but he plays that forward pass to Kuhn, and the option's probably to step on and cross it first time, but because he wants to use his left foot, it probably goes. I actually felt as though Engels could get his shot away, and we can see the technique that he has.
Yeah, no, I thought he was going to take it on as well, Barry, I must agree. 2 minutes left in this first period, just a 1-goal advantage for Celtic, but they have been by far and away the better team in this game so far, as Weiss robs Johnston, but unfairly. And Weiss and Johnston have been having a real head-to-head, isn't it? And they're still, well, Weiss certainly is having a go at Johnston for going down, but it was definitely a foul.
Both players have been booked, remember, also, and I see the manager out saying, point the referee to calm, stay calm, don't do anything silly.
Weiss has got to be careful. He's the one that's not to be doing anything silly. He looks the hotter head of the two, I have to say. Alistair Johnston, a pretty cool character for the most part, and Weiss Senior patrolling the edge of his technical area will just be trying to get some words on to Weiss Junior to make sure they keep 11 players on the park. That's been given straight to Weiss by Kyogo. Poor touch by him. Weiss now surrounded by 3 and 4 Celtic jerseys, and Engels has it back. Weiss looks at the referee, scans. It's Hatate into the penalty area. His attempt to cross is blocked. Johnston bars from behind. That's going to be a free kick. Byric thought he'd taken the ball there just outside the penalty area, but the referee thought otherwise, and Celtic have a free kick right outside the penalty area on the right hand side, a couple of yards away from the angle of the box, and into the final minute of the first 45. This is a good opportunity again for Celtic,
especially Engels' delivery. I expect it though, you know, as Packy says, certainly for the white free kick it'll be more zonal for Slovan. But depending on how high that line is, looks like the line up along the penalty spot at the minute. If he can try and get it in behind that, allow Scales, Carter Vickers, we know Kyogo's movement, Maida to go and attack it.
Yeah, Engels the right footer and Kuhn the left footer over this from the right hand side. Kuhn is going to leave it though to Engels. That's not a good delivery, defended at the near post. Hatate tries to get it back into the area, but he's made a bit of a mess of that as well, allowing Tolic to clear his lines. Blackman's up there giving chase. Johnston up well to win that though. Brave challenge from the Canadian, breaks away in the midfield of Ignatenko. He's knocked it straight out of play. The big Ukrainian who was signed just just this month from Bordeaux after their financial collapse. He's failed to impress in his first half. 1 minute added on, and we are into that just now as Johnston gets up towards the edge of the penalty range, dispossessed though, as Slovan have it back deep in their own half, left-hand side, fed up to Strelic, who's had to work off scraps. He's looked quite tidy when he's got on the ball, Strelic, but he's had very few opportunities.
Yeah, he has, but he's done most of his work defensively. He's managed to get in behind, shows he's got a decent bit of pace, good touch, and you see him there, he holds it up well. Callum McGregor's putting him under pressure, takes a good first touch, but there's more Celtic bodies to come round him to force it out for a throw-in.
Early on in this game, Celtic tried to exploit Blackman, their right back. There was a great opportunity there. If I don't know who was on the ball, whether it was Ingles, if he just got his head up, because Maeda had made that run past him again at the back post, but they elected to just play the ball short.
Half-time at Celtic Park in the opening Champions League fixture of the season, and Celtic lead by a 1-0, a goal scored on 17 minutes from the Engels corner from the left-hand side. Liam Scales is the man to attack it, and he headed powerfully past the goalkeeper, Dominic Takac, who got something to it but couldn't keep it out, and that is the goal that separates the sides. There have been a number of other opportunities for Celtic. Even ahead of that, Maeda had a shot off target after a terrific move after only 4 minutes, and then another header which came straight at the keeper from Maeda after Taylor found him in the penalty area. Kyogo had an effort saved really well by the keeper, actually, just a minute after Celtic had gone in front, before Engels hit a powerful drive straight into the keeper's midriff, as well as he was earning his corn in the early stages. Slovan's best opportunity came through the former Ranger Vladimir Weiss, who was booked early on in a rather passionate exchange with Alistair Johnston, but he had the opportunity, but for some reason on the half-hour mark, rather than getting the shot off when he had a clear sight of goal, he tried to cut back inside onto his right foot, and the chance was gone as Celtic got bodies back. Kyogo was presented with an opportunity by Hatate 11 minutes before the break, but scooped it well over, and then a Maeda header just about 3 minutes before the interval from Kuhn's delivery was again off target. So Celtic on top and with the advantage at half-time. Could have been more, but as it is, it's Celtic 1, Slovan Bratislava 0.
Celtic in the Champions League.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Half-time at Celtic Park, Celtic 1, Slovan Bratislava 0. Liam Scales with a goal on 17 minutes. Elsewhere in the Champions League, 2 games kicked off at 5:45. Finished Bologna 0, Shakhtar Donetsk 0, Sparta Prague 3, Salzburg 0. Half-time scores: Club Brugge 0, Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0, Inter Milan 0, and PSG 0, Girona 0. Tom English is alongside me in the studio. A decent first half performance from Brendan Rodgers' team. Tom, perhaps they should have a couple more goals?
Yeah, listen, they have the lead. They're completely dominant in the game. It's a bit frustrating for them, I'd say, that they haven't made it 2 and 3, because, my God, they've had the chances. Maeda had a couple of chances. Kyogo's had 2 really, really good chances. But they're playing well. You know, they are creating these moments, and their pressing game is very aggressive and is very effective. Slovan Bratislava have a couple of moments, but not a lot. Celtic should be out of sight by now. They're not, but I'd be very surprised if they don't add to their total in the second half.
Yeah, Celtic 69% possession. They have had 8 shots to Slovan's 3, 4 on target, just 1 shot on target for the visitors. Pat Bonner and James McFadden are at Celtic Park for us this evening. I guess that would be the frustration for Brendan Rodgers' part, that their dominance hasn't yielded more goals.
Yeah, they've had the chances, and they play some really good football at times. But in Europe, you know that unless you put your chances away, the opposition will always get 1 or 2, and they're decent on the counter-attack, I've got to say. They're well organised. They're working hard to kill the space that Celtic can operate in through midfield, and that. But Celtic still have I think they've played well in this game. They really have. They've moved the ball really well. Maybe at times they could just move a little bit more off the ball, higher up the pitch. minutes just to give that opportunity to player on the ball. But overall, I think Brendan Rodgers will be happy. He'll be drilling into them now to keep this going, keep the tempo up. And the tempo is the thing that's, I think, is the thing that's really allowing them to dominate the game. They're winning balls back at times, even when they lose it in the opposition half, and that creates that almost a couple of chances from that. And if they get the second goal, I think they'll have it. But until they get that second goal and they stay 1-0 up, if the opposition get that goal, then it becomes a more trickier game, and then the crowd start getting edgy. All those things we know in Europe that can probably knock your confidence out of you. So keep the tempo up, keep the passing going, a little bit more movement higher up the pitch, and I think they will create more chances.
If you didn't know better and you told somebody this is a Scottish Premiership game, they'd probably believe you. You know,
it's a bit like it, yeah.
It's a bit like it. In the Celtics' dominance, the huge amount of possession, chances, front foot all of the time. It is redolent of a domestic game.
The slight difference, though, Tom, is that the opposition have got a little bit of quality and higher up the pitch also. You know, the Strelic and Tolic are two good players. They're almost playing like you could say a double centre forward position, but one will drop back on McGregor, but then they're really ready to pounce, and they've got a little bit of pace about them. They are quality players, and that's probably the difference, I would say, from maybe what I witnessed here, what Scottish teams playing against Celtic compared to this team. They're dangerous.
Are you saying Scottish teams don't have any quality up there, Pat?
Well, at times they maybe are isolated and they don't have the two up. This team can afford to keep the two up there, but they have got quality, those two players, I can tell you.
James, you spoke about Engels pre-match. Obviously a fantastic delivery for the goal. Overall, what have you made of his performance so far?
Yeah, I think he's looked good. I think that when you look at what the foul times he's been fouled, it's because he understands where to be. He reads the game well. He knows his position. He looks like he's got real quality on the ball, and I think that, I mean, the argument over the past few transfer windows and seasons for Celtic's been these project players, and he's come in at 20 years old. I know he's 21 now, but he's ready. He's not a project. They've had to spend the money for him, and he is young, but he's ready to play. You can see that now. We'll see when the opposition, there's a step up in the opposition, but what I've seen so far, he's ready to play. He looks confident, assured. Pat mentioned it during commentary. He's got a good stature, a good size. He gets about the pitch well, and I just think Celtic in general, I agree with Tom. I think they look so far ahead in terms of their technique, how comfortable they look in the ball. They're never flustered. Of course, Slovan have hit them a couple of times at the break and they've looked dangerous themselves. But I saw a team that looked like they were getting tired towards that half, Slovan, for sitting behind the ball and deciding when to press, when to set off. At times they've gone, and as Pat mentioned with the two strikers, they've tried to play, one goes to the centre-back on the ball and the other sits in front of Callum McGregor ready to pounce, and when that ball goes across, the other one just tucks round and sits back in front of McGregor. But when Celtic have actually played through that, the gap between them and the midfield is massive, and it's allowed Celtic to gain so much control in the game. But I just think they look so comfortable on the ball. I don't think Brendan Rodgers would be frustrated at half-time. He would have liked another couple of goals, but I think what he'll be watching is a team that he can see in control of the game. Slovan will tire because they've got a few older players in there as well, and it's difficult to maintain those levels. But also the fact that they're so having to be switched on. Any time they gain possession back, Celtic in their press are hunting in packs, putting them under so much pressure, forcing slash clearances at times. I think it does feel like that, but you can never rule out Slovan for the threats they've shown so far. I think he'll be happy with the performance levels, and I think he'll just be looking to make little tweaks to maybe try and get that ball forward a little bit quicker and try and pose more of a threat. But you're right, there should be Maida's header, Kyogo's two chances. It should be a lot more comfortable in terms of the scoreline, but the performance has been very comfortable.
Yeah, it's been very, very good, Tom. We've just seen the highlights coming back into the studio here. Two things I want to pick up on. First of all, it was actually a terrific header from Scales, wasn't he? He really attacked. He kind of had to manoeuvre his body a fair bit to get to it, but he gets some great power on it.
Well, he's beat the defenders to the chase, first of all. Now the delivery from Engels is amazing.
Yeah.
It's vicious pace on it. 7 minutes before that, he put in a brilliant corner as well, and nobody attacked it. It was a very similar delivery. Nobody attacked it. The second time he comes in, Scales attacks it, and it's a brilliant header. And it's such power on the header. The goalkeeper gets onto it, but there's no way he's keeping that out. And you can see what that meant to Scales. I mean, he almost blew a gasket celebrating that goal. A brilliant celebration. But yeah, no, I agree with the lads. Engels, he looks classy. He looks influential. He looks, I don't say, but he does have a touch of the Matt O'Reilly about him. The way he moves, the way he passes, the way he links to play. He looks a very, very classy player. This is very comfortable for Celtic. We're kind of nitpicking maybe.
Well, let's nitpick some more, because what about the couple of chances for Kyogo?
Yeah,
it used to be with Kyogo, chances like that, you just knew he was going to score.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that he's missed both of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes he might miss one, and the next one he buries it.
Yes.
He's had two really, really good chances, and he's missed both of them. And first one was a very good save. Second one is just scooped it over the crossbar. He should score. Really should score both of them. But if you give him a third chance, he's probably going to score. It's a little bit of a concern, that he's not being ruthless, because we expect him to be ruthless. But they've got either on the bench if they feel they need something different. He's getting into those positions. It's the old maxim, isn't it? If Kyogo keeps being put into those positions, he's going to damage you eventually.
They have been fantastic defensively, domestically this campaign so far. Pat, are you happy with the defensive shape tonight?
Yeah, I think Scales has played particularly well. Anything that's come his way, he's handled it. He's got into really good positions. He's headed balls. There was one mistake from Carter Vickers, as you know, that led to the Rice's chance. He never got his timing right and just knocked it up in the air. And from that, then the two strikers were in on top of the goal, and Vice's played in. And yeah, more or less everything has got. They haven't been really under severe pressure defensively, but it's just that ability to make the right decision when you have to do it, and that's been good from Liam Scales so far. From that respect, may it long continue in the second half, because they will get other chances, I'm sure, this opposition, depending on, of course, the next goal. If Celtic scored a goal, I could see this team probably dropping their heads a little bit and giving up maybe more chances to Celtic, but as long as it stays 1-0, they're a threat.
Look, the ultimate is to win this game, and I think they will win it. The added bonus is if they do a number on Slovan, just to put them away, like really good teams do.
A statement.
Yeah, well, not even a statement, but it just kind of maybe a statement to themselves. That they have that firepower, and they can punish these teams. I think that would be. You have to win the game, right? That's the be-all and end-all. But the cherry on top is if they score 3 and 4 and really kind of reinforce it. Do you know what? We're a good side. We belong in this competition. Everyone expected us to batter Slovan Bratislava, and there you go, we've done it.
Just a wee update, Alan Preston joined us earlier. He was at Lesser Hampden earlier today to watch Celtic's under-19s, in fact, batter the youth equivalent from Slovan Bratislava in the youth Champions League earlier on, and Pat had asked the question. Alan was raving about some of the performances from the Celtic youngsters today. Pat was asking the question, someone was asking the question, how many are Scottish? And actually Alan's done his homework here. 10 starters for Celtic were Scottish, 1 from Northern Ireland. So encouraging signs there. Yeah, encouraging signs.
There's talent. There's talent in this country. I keep hearing it. There's talented players. From people who know, there's talented players in this country. It's how you bring them through and give them game time. That is the problem.
Nicholas Kuhn is a player we spoke about pre-match, Farry, talking about the improvement under him since Brendan Rodgers started to work his magic. What have you seen from him in the first half?
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet offensively. And I think that because of the way that Slovan are playing, when they press, they will kind of step up a little bit, but it's almost like they're pressing with a front four, and that back four, that back line's not really moving. They're playing probably a little bit deeper, and when Celtic advance they're going more compact, so it can go out to the wide area, but when it gets there he's not got too many options. So I would say on the quieter side, but you've got that threat from him. You know that he can, the way he started the season, that he can get in behind, that he will get his shot away. Another one again, and I'm speaking about the composure in the defence mainly because you're watching a bit of pressure, it's all happening round about them, they're so composed, but even when it gets to the wide areas like Kuhn, he's not desperate to go and beat somebody and try and make something happen because he's not involved in the game. He's still making the right decisions. It's just been a bit of patience for Celtic, and I think that will continue into the second half.
Just looking at the options on the bench this evening, Tom. James Forrest there, Adam Eden there, Paulo Bernardo, he spoke at the media conference yesterday, perhaps unlucky not to get an opportunity tonight. Luke McCowan is there as well, so the teams are back out, but plenty of options for Brendan Rodgers should he decide to go to the bench.
Yeah, he could replace, he could bring on Palmer and Forrest, he could change two wide players, and that gives you experience, gives you trickery, gives you a bit of pace. That's what I was saying beforehand. His bench is very, very good. He does have different types of players to bring on. McCowan as a goal in him, Bernard as a goal in him. Yeah, he's not in a bad place, Brendan Rodgers.
So far, so good for his team this evening. Let's get back to Celtic Park. Celtic against Slovan Bratislava in the Champions League with Pat Bonner, James McFadden and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Kenny. We are just waiting on the TV official to give the fourth official the OK, and then we are back underway. Celtic look to consolidate or even improve upon the advantage they currently hold, which is 1-0 thanks to Liam Scales' 17th minute goal. No changes for either side at the interval. No doubt a few to come on both sides. Let's just see how it begins to unfold at the start of this second period as Celtic come forward down the right hand side. Johnston firing it in the direction of Kuhn. It comes off the head of Wimmer and out of play over in the far side. Celtic right, Engels, who's been heavily involved, and there's Johnston getting into the box. Did that come off an arm? No, the referee's indicating it was the head, but to be fair, the Slovan player's down holding his face just at the moment. It looked like a sore one, but I thought it was an arm raised just at the angle of the box. Anyway, Celtic have recycled the ball. It was Wimmer again, the unfortunate player, to get that one right in the face as Kuhn picks up right hand side. Johnston goes outside from it, back with Engels again. It's straight at the keeper and he pushes it away. Good goalkeeping in fairness to him, but Engels got plenty behind him, but just didn't quite get the direction he was looking for. It was a relatively tight angle. Celtic threatening once more, and it's that man Arne Engels who's been involved in so much already.
Well, he's got the power, hasn't he? He's got the power in the strike.
And the accuracy is so clean.
Accuracy, yeah, it's very, very clean how he strikes the ball. It's just if he can get that ball across the goalkeeper on that occasion, straight at him, and he looks sharp, the goalkeeper. He's nice and tidy on his saves.
Celtic come forward again with Kuhn on the right hand side, looking to get away from Tenko into the penalty area. He comes across, goal, and it's in! And it's Kyogo to convert right to the start of the second half. Nicholas Kuhn made it down that right hand side, and for once he went on the outside, flashes it across with the right foot, and there was just a couple of yards out was Kyogo to divert it into the net. It is Celtic 2, Slovan Bratislava 0.
Well, we talked about Nicholas Kuhn at half-time, and this time he goes directly. I'm sure maybe Brendan Rodgers had a word with him at half-time and said, when you get the ball, go and test that full-back. And he's gone to the byline, kept going, and he's got there, and he's put a great ball across. And I'm just thinking, was it Maeda or no, it was Kyogo. It was Kyogo that scored with his stomach. More, it's off his knee, it's off his thigh, just into the back of the net. All he do is let it hit his body and back of the net, James.
That's brilliant from Kuhn. Kenny asked, he has been pretty quiet, but not bad. But that's him. This is a new Nicholas Kuhn this season where he's shown that pace, drops his shoulder, drags it onto the right foot. The cross is excellent, so good that Kyogo just has to divert it with the knee. It's a fantastic start to this second half for Celtic.
It's a third Champions League goal for Kyogo. It's his second goal this season. And he has doubled Celtic's advantage right at the start of this second period, and that gives them a platform to really go and enjoy themselves in this second half and put Slovan to the sword if they can. As Weiss chases down a pretty forlorn task, really. It was up against Carter Vickers, Scales and Schmeichel, and Celtic bring it forward once more, and it's Johnston out to Kuhn, who will get an even bigger confidence lift from that. Now he cuts in on his left foot, edge of the box. Can he find room for the shot? Not on this occasion. He has to go back the way to Carter Vickers, who immediately gets out to the right-hand side for Johnston. Johnston fires it into the air. It's another dangerous ball. Maida's not too far away from making contact all the way across goal and behind for a goal kick. 49 on the clock. Celtic 2, Slovan 0.
That is a wonderful ball, and probably the pace just was too much on it. Just may take a little bit of pace off it, and Maeda was going to get it on the end of that. Celtic are just going for the jugular here at the start of the second half.
Yeah, do you sense that, as some of the managers said at half-time, just to really up the ante here, as Slovan knock it behind for another corner?
Yeah, it must have been, because they've come out the traps this second half, particularly down the right side. The chance before, Kuhn cuts inside, takes 3 or 4 men with him. By the time it goes back to Carter Vickers, the one-time pass allows the space for Alistair Johnston.
Here's Kuhn finding Hatate at the edge of the box. Wonderful first touch to take it away from the Slovan player. Gets to the Bayern left-hand side, tries to cut it across goal. Again, it's turned behind for a corner kick. Celtic looking for a third goal early in this second period, having already added a second courtesy of Kyogo just a couple of minutes ago. And Celtic Park is rising to the occasion as well, getting right behind their side, appreciating the dynamism of this Celtic performance.
Yeah, well, if anything, they've upped the tempo again in the second half, and not so much of the tempo, but they have been more cutting edge up in that almost last third of the pitch.
Engels to take, left-hand side, right-footed. Young Belgian plays it back the way to Callum McGregor. He plays it back to Engels once more. He's got a better angle, but he goes back to McGregor again. McGregor with the left foot into the penalty area. It was an easy take for the goalkeeper on the edge of his 6-yard box. That wasn't a good delivery from the Celtic captain, and it will remain after just 5.5 minutes of this second half. Celtic 2, Slovan 0, as Slovan look to play out from the back themselves. Blackman picks up right-hand side and then knocks it back to Kasia. Kasia into the midfield, but Slovan not good enough really to do that, and they're quickly closed down. They've given the ball away in the shape of a throw-in, and Engels picking up in the middle of the park, spinning one way then the other, away from Ignatienko. Little disguised pass infield for Johnston. Johnston gets it back from Kuhn. Kuhn tries to skip away from his marker, can't quite do it. McGregor keeping the pressure on though. Down on that right-hand side, it's Tolic all the way back at his own corner flag, plays it off Nicholas Kuhn. It's going to be a Slovan throw-in, but they are really under the cosh at the start of this second half.
Yeah, that was brilliant play, wasn't it, James, from Engels? He elected to hit an easy pass wide, but he elected that other more risky pass, and it opened up between the lines to allow Celtic to go and really attack.
This is an incredible start to the second half. Absolutely relentless from Celtic.
Well, the Celtic fans down in front of us are doing the pause now, including Rod Stewart. Told they're in danger of missing a third goal the way Celtic are playing, facing away from the field as they do. They call it the huddle, but I think technically it is the Poznan, but they can call it what they like at the moment, because they're absolutely loving it. They're having a party in the Champions League as they shout, and they're thoroughly enjoying themselves as their side lead by 2-0, and it's quite a sight to see the best part of Celtic Park jumping about in that manner right now. Slovan have got a big job in their hands after to take anything from this game. It looks like unlikely at the moment as Hatate wins possession on the halfway line, tries to play it in for Kyogo. It's just behind him and ahead of Kuhn, and he won't keep it in, and it's out on the far side. And Vladimir Weiss, who's gone across to take that throw, and he will not be enjoying himself one bit this evening.
No player Slovan jersey will be enjoying it too much.
Here's Tolic though, as they come forward looking to get a goal back, as he goes for goal, but it's a couple of yards wide of Kasper Schmeichel's right hand post. He was across there, dived down, but he drew his hands away, knew he wasn't going to be required to make the save, and it's a goal kick which is quickly taken. We've played 53 minutes and it's Celtic 2, Slovan 0.
Yeah, they've come out without doubt the second half. Celtic more intent to get forward, to get beyond that back line, get crosses into the box, and then the same old, when they lose it, the desire and the hunger to go and win it back and put Slovan Bratislava under so much pressure.
That's out play from Slovan, even without being under pressure, they're making mistakes. And it's been quite the introduction to the Champions League for the Slovakian champions. Clearly they want to be at this top table of European football, but it's a tough school.
The thing is, we were speaking about this before the game, saying what a draw it is for Celtic to get Slovan Bratislava at home, one where they can expect to win, and if they go and play their game they can get the victory. And look, there's still football to be played, but I'm sure Slovan Bratislava would have relished this trip.
Here's Weiss through for Strelic, right hand side of the box. Tries to play it through the legs of Scales. Scales is wise to it. Strelic has done well to get it back though. Weiss, right hand side of the box, tries to play it across goal. Can't manage to do so. Hatate half clear. Slovan keeping a bit of pressure on, but now they've given it away and couldn't bring Celtic forward. Finds Kyogo. Kyogo group Maida if he can find him, but unfortunately for him, Cassiel was in the way. It's a right idea from Kyogo to try and find Maida, but he just couldn't find the pass. But Celtic have quickly taken the throw-in over on the far side. Engels finds Kyogo inside the box. Goes for goal, he should have squared it, but the keeper makes the save. Johnston's in there. Was he caught there? Yes, penalty! Johnston was caught as Ignatchenko tried to make the clearance, and Celtic have a big chance to make it 3.
Yeah, you could argue, the defender could argue that he was trying to clear it, but Johnson went in and he's caught him, and the referee points to the spot. But Celtic had taken a quick free throw in, which keeps the tempo up and keeps the pressure on them. But this is a big chance to really put this game to bed now.
It's a great pass again into Kyogo, and when he gets his head up, he has to see Kuhn in the middle of the box, unmarked. He's got to square it. In any case, Alistair Johnston does well to win the penalty, and spoke about this man's technique. Engels, who's going to step up, saw him take one at the weekend.
Yeah, well, he stroked one past Craig Gordon on Saturday for his first Celtic goal and his first Celtic start. He doesn't look like a man who is fazed by very much. Young Arne Engels.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Celtic players. They've got to follow this ball into. Don't think that he's going to.
There's no one.
There's no one. I'm just looking at it and say, go on, guys, get in after it.
Arne Engels, up he steps, right footage, same corner, same outcome. Celtic 3, Slovan 0.
And that's exactly why none of these players are ready to follow in. But they knew what the outcome was going to be. The same again, takes that little step up, the little delay, just opens his foot up, side netting. Even if the goalie goes the right way, he's got no chance. This should have been the scoreline at half time. Shows you the character again for Celtic to come out, the hunger to go and get those goals and make it a really good night in here.
James had all the confidence there, he said, you
I think you can tell when, it's somebody taking it. Normally they're ringing the box and fighting for position to go and follow in. There was one player ready to run in, no one else.
Yeah, big goal. That for me, now they can really just keep going to town and keep their tempo up if they can, and you can go to the bench also. Brendan Rodgers. Oh, here's a chance.
Just giving it away. It's Hatate on the edge of the box. Oh, he's chosen the wrong option. Been a little bit greedy there. Hatate tried to take it on himself. He had Kyogo and Maida in support, among others, but tried to go himself. But Celtic have it back yet again. It's Hatate left-hand side now. Plays it infield. But
he's annoyed with himself.
Right, so it should be. But Celtic, as far as they're concerned, they've got this game in the palm of their hand. They can be whatever they want it to be.
Yeah, they have. And we're looking at Hatate. Should have played it forward. They lose the ball. Engels makes up so much ground to win it back. The desire to get the ball back from this team is incredible. They've knocked the fight right out of Slovan Bratislava with a work rate and a quality.
Arne Engels, 2 starts, 2 goals, both from the penalty spot. and he has been heavily involved in all that has been good about Celtic this evening, as he finds Callum McGregor once more, and then Taylor hoists it out to the right hand side for Kuhn up towards the edge of the penalty area, plays it for Johnston. Johnston tries to get it across goal, take a nick on its way through, and it's behind for a corner kick.
It's impressive the way the two are linking up, aren't they? Johnson and Kuhn down that right hand side at the moment, really working well.
Celtic have taken the corner quickly. Slovan weren't set, but they have managed to get out there and make the block as Engels gets it back for McGregor. McGregor to Kuhn, gets it just in behind McGregor as he tried to pick out his run. Slovan trying to come away through Kucka, but they look all over the place, Slovan. Their heads have gone with this whirlwind start that Celtic have made to the second period. And if you're a Celtic fan and you're just listening to us on the radio this evening, if you can get a chance to catch it on either iPlayer or the BBC Sport app, or indeed the website from 10 o'clock, please do so, because you will love every minute of the highlights package, certainly up until this point. We've played almost an hour and Celtic are leading by 3-0 and well on course for their first ever victory in the first game of the Champions League campaign on 13 attempts. Here is Arsegian, who's barely been able to get into the game, as much as we were told that he was going to be a big player for Slovan. None of them have really turned up as such, as Kasia has it now, and back with Tolic. Tolic forward for Strelitz, and now it's Blackman right hand side. Blackman trying to get the better of Liam Scales, trying to take him on for pace. He's done well, but back comes Maeda to make the challenge. Terrific work ethic from the Japanese there. Back almost at his own corner flag to put the challenge in, put Blackman off his stride, and Celtic emerge with possession, although they've just given it back up to Wimmer over on the far side. He leaves it to Weiss, left hand side, laid back. Slovan looking for a way back into this contest, as unlikely as that seems. Varsegian looking to link with Strelic. Is not a good clearance. Tolic lays it back. Shot comes in. Oh, top corner. That is some finish. I think it was Kevin Wimmer, the left back, who was up at the angle of the box and took a deflection on its way through, and it finds its way past Kasper Schmeichel, who is out there talking to every Celtic player, saying, get your heads right, we might be winning still for 3-1, but this game is not over, and Slovan have a way back in. It's Celtic 3, Slovan 1.
Yeah, he's annoyed because they had a chance to clear it. It was Greg Taylor. The ball comes to him and he just slashes at it up into the air, and it didn't even come outside the box. It ended up over the back post, and it gives him the chance. It was a great finish, I've got to say, with the outside of his foot high up into the corner. Schmeichel, but he's annoyed because is that the first goal he's lost? Second.
Yeah, he lost one to Hibs in the League Cup.
It's a poor goal under the circumstance. Greg Taylor's got a chance to clear it, as Packy says, just slashes at it. The touch from Tolic is outstanding. The ball's there for a long time. He just takes this thing out of it, lays it into the path. You say it was Wimmer, I couldn't see who scored the goal. And he doesn't even, he takes a touch, but it's in front of him, and he just bends it with the outside of his left foot. There's no backlift, right into the top corner. It's a fantastic finish.
Celtic looking to restore the 3-goal advantage as Taylor comes forward, left-hand side. Hatate lifts it into the box beyond Kuhn, who will go and chase it and keep it in. Over on the far side, the Celtic right. 61 in, and Celtic annoyed with themselves for conceding, having been 3-0 up. Here's McGregor from the edge of the box, just wide, touched wide by the keeper, in fact, who was at full stretch down away to his left-hand side and got fingertips to it, Takats, to take it wide for a corner. Otherwise, McGregor was on for his 4th of the season.
That's a great save. He's at full stretch. Callum McGregor, as he's done so many times this season, not so much in his career, but this season, picks up loads of space. Great strike, clean, down to the goalkeeper's left. He's at full stretch to touch it round the post. A great save.
I think Packy and I had a conversation mid-commentary. I think it was in the Scottish Cup semi-final. I had the temerity to say Callum McGregor didn't score often enough, and he's more than answered that at the start of this season.
You said that, not me.
Engels sends it in. Headed clear as far as Weiss at the edge of the box, and he helps it on, but it's going to go out of play for a Celtic throw in about 30 yards from the corner flag. And Kyogo was thinking about taking it. I'm not sure if he's ever taken a throw in, and just leaves it in the end.
Didn't look like it.
Greg Taylor shows him how it's done, plays it back to Callum McGregor and back to Cameron Carter-Vickers. And then Johnston picks up, and Engels down the right-hand side for Kuhn. Kuhn up against the Slovan goal scorer Wimmer into the penalty box. He comes, Johnston, and he comes and pushed away by the goalkeeper just before any Celtic player can pounce. It's hammered clear, but Celtic looking to get more goals themselves.
It's an amazing amount of goals or saves the goalkeeper straight at him tonight. There must have been about 4 at least in this game. That's almost straight at him, but he's reacted really well.
Johnston is absolutely tireless going forward down that right-hand side, as well as working back the way. Here comes Slovan through Vladimir Weiss. Poor pass from him, though, looking to connect with Barsegian, but it's easy for Cameron Carter-Vickers to mop things up at the back. It's 18 minutes played in this second period. Celtic 3, Slovan 1 as Kuhn picks up again. Now he finds Engels at the goal line, cuts it back across goal. No Celtic players waiting to knock that one in, and here comes Kucka trying to begin a Slovan counter. Plays it to Barsegian. What on earth is he? Tollitz it was who was waiting on it. In steps Greg Taylor. Pokes it to Maida. Maida's inside the box. Blackman makes the challenge. Offside flag is up. I don't think it would have been a penalty, although there was some claims from a couple of Celtic players and about 50,000 fans. But it looked like a decent challenge from Blackman on Maida, but Maida was offside in any event. We've played 19 in the second period. Celtic 3, Slovan 1.
Yeah, Celtic just getting a little bit of loose around the middle of the pitch when they're on the attack. There's a lot of bit spaces there that maybe the Slovan Bratislava players are starting again exploit again on that counter-attack, and they are slightly dangerous. So that's something maybe that they might go to the bench to sort out. It's hard to change a team when they're playing so well.
Yeah, they're getting the ball, particularly down the right-hand side, and flashing the ball across. And the Celtic midfield, sometimes the Engels, it's peeled wide to maybe play that pass to create the space for Johnston to go. But if they can just step up a little bit for that either cut back or the second ball that bounces to the edge of the box. And Slovan, you're right, they're picking the ball up and they look like they can gain a bit of confidence, but their decision making, maybe rush the pass, overhit the pass, because of how much work they're having to put into just staying in the game as much as they can.
25 minutes left of the 90. Celtic leading by 3-1. It's the first time they've actually scored in their opening Champions League fixture since against Man United, a 3-2 defeat back in 06-07. That was 8 games without a goal in their first fixture of the Champions League. Here's Tollitz right hand side. He looks like a decent player when he can get on the ball. Johnston makes the clearance, and then Kasper Schmeichel goes up and claims the loose ball inside the penalty area. Tollitz looked to try and create again, as he did for the one Slovan goal of the game so far. 3-1 Celtic lead though. Liam Scales got the ball rolling, and he's in possession just now, playing it square for Cameron Carter-Vickers. Celtic will still feel there are more goals in this game for them, but well on course to get 3 points on the board and begin to make inroads into that 9 or 10 that they probably need to finish in those playoff spots. 16 more or less going to be required to finish in the top 8, which is a tall order, but certainly if you can start with a victory, it's not going to do you any harm, as Celtic get the throw-in on this near side, midway inside the Slovan half, left-hand side, and Taylor comes forward to take. Just approaching the three-quarter point in the game. Celtic still in command despite the loss of that goal a few minutes ago. And as always on 67 minutes, the mobile phone lights come out around Celtic Park, and the song to commemorate the European Cup victory back in 67. And it's always quite a sight around Celtic Park. It's a tremendous atmosphere as it is, as Slovan have a throw-in deep in their own territory to be taken by Cesar Blackman. Slovan's Champions League fixtures don't get any easier, particularly it's Man City at home next time out, with Celtic travelling to Dortmund, which will be another fabulous fixture for their fans and players to be involved in. Here's Alistair Johnston, right hand side, crossing the halfway line. 3-1 to Celtic going into the final quarter of the game. That's gone all the way behind though for a Slovan goal kick. They don't want to be giving Slovan any opportunity to think they can get further back into this game, do they?
No, that's the key. That's the key. You've got to, while they're playing really well, Celtic on the attack, don't give them any chance to counter-attack. I see Brendan Rodgers having discussions. I don't know who it is, James Forrest, yeah, to almost make that little change, probably with Kuhn maybe coming off on the right-hand side, but obviously his experience coming on to maybe to just thinking about how he can actually manage this game properly now.
I think we've spoken about how strong Celtic's squad is. I don't think it'd be a bad thing to make some changes, not just to freshen it up.
Strelic in possession for Slovan, does well to find Kucka just inside his own half, out to the left-hand side to Weiss. He gets the treatment again from 60,000 Celtic fans, plays it infield to Barsegian. I think the referee got in the way of a Celtic defender there. The Celtic fans let him know about that, but the ball forward from Kucka is an aimless one, and Schmeichel comes out to claim it. James Forrest preparing to come on then. The first change of the evening from either side is ball still in play though, as Scales picks up just outside his own penalty area. Hatate infield for McGregor, the slip from Strelic, and now it's Engels coming forward, powering forward, the young Belgian. To the edge of the box he goes, tries to just play it into the path of Hatate back to McGregor, 30 yards from goal. Left hand side is Taylor, back in to a central area for McGregor looking for the pass, clips it over, looking for Maida, well read by Kasia. Taylor back into the box, away by Kasia once more. McGregor picks up again, under pressure from Tolic, possibly foul, but Celtic still in possession with Alistair Johnston. Plays it square for Scales. Now Hatate gets turned. It's a poor ball infield for McGregor, but he makes the most of it and gets it to Carter Vickers. Now Kyogo, about 25 from goal. Hatate, wonderful feet, pokes it to Maida. Maida, goal! The 3-goal advantage restored by Dyson Maida. Wonderful link-up between Hatate and Kyogo, and then Maida, who plays it beyond the keeper, away to the keeper's left-hand side. Low finish from Maida to bring it Celtic 4. Slovan Bratislava 1.
Made in Japan. Wow, really good combination play between the three Japanese players up top, and then Maida. That is a good finish from Maida, because at times we've seen him getting into those positions, maybe slashing it a little bit. That showed composure, James.
Yeah, it did. I think the interplay between all three of them, it's outstanding. Little touch inside, little bit of skill from Hatate. And then, as you say, when it comes to Maida, he had a chance in the first half, and it was bouncing, it was a bit higher, but he just goes for power. Down to the left, the Takac, who's got no chance. It's a wonderful goal, and it's no less than Celtic deserve.
Yeah, James Forrest is going to come on for Nicholas Kuhn. Just after that goal has gone in, it's Dyson Maida's first ever Champions League goal, his 11th Champions League appearance. Changed days from his last outing when he was injured and sent off at the same time in the 6-0 defeat away to Atletico Madrid back in November of last year. But he's on the score sheet here, and he has made it Celtic 4, Slovan 1, as James Forrest comes on for what is his 114th European appearance for Celtic. His numbers are just quite incredible, just having recently made his 500th appearance in all competitions for the club, and he is right up there among their record European appearance makers as well. And it's been such a good evening for Celtic all round, as Weiss picks up on the halfway line. His side trailing by 3 goals once again. Strelic gets it forward to Tolic, but he can't keep a hold of it. Engels and McGregor combining well, and Johnston just opens the legs and gets forward once more away from Kucka. Finds Forrest with his first touch. Now Engels once more tries the big diagonal. It's an ambitious one, and Blackman will just head that back to his goalkeeper. We've got under 20 minutes to play, and Celtic, I wouldn't quite go as far as to say cruising, but not far off it.
Yeah, I think they're cruising now. I would be, you know, I'm never sure.
You can say it, go on.
Well, you know, it's Celtic, you're never sure in Europe. But listen, it's been a brilliant display by them. Even when they lost the goal, they didn't panic. They kept playing, and they created chances. And So they're in a great position.
They're in a great position here with James Forrest driving into the penalty area. Right-hand side, tries to get it across goal. And it's going to be a Celtic corner. Despite the protestations there of Wimmer, who felt it went straight behind. It's going to be Celtic corner, right-hand side, as Slovan prepare to make a couple of changes of their own. On will come Kyriakos Saviris, as Celtic have taken the corner quickly though out on that right-hand side. McGregor then floats it in. Up there goes Scales, can't quite direct it on goal. Slovan get it out of the penalty area, can't get it completely clear, but Weiss picks up on the left-hand side, closed down by Engels. Does well to keep possession and gets it back from Wimmer. 17 to play, Celtic 4, Slovan 0. Wimmer's lost out, Engels with the flick, Forrest into the middle, just ahead of Maida, and Kasia will come away with possession and now find Tollitz, who'll play it forward now. And down the right-hand side they come as Ignyatenko keeps it in, but he's robbed by Scales, who then clips it into the middle for Engels. Engels beaten to it though by Kutska, but Johnston comes forward. He's lost out, and now Celtic could be caught in the counter as forward comes Weiss. Weiss running at Carter Vickers. Infield he comes, finds Tollitz about 30 yards from goal, central area. Back to Weiss, just outside the box. Can he find the angle for the shot? He can't get the better of Cameron Carter Vickers, which he tried to do, but Carter Vickers stood firm, and the danger is cleared. And now Forrest tries to find Kyogo at the other end, but that comes to nothing.
Just keep the ball, that would be, keep passing it, keep doing all the things that you've done well. You don't have to score another goal. You're 4-1 up. You just now dominate by keeping good passing going, keeping the control of the game.
It's going to be a triple change from Slovan when they eventually make it. Nino Marcelli, Robert Mack and Kyriakos Saviris are the players who are waiting to come on. But you'd have to imagine Vladimir Weiss, the manager, would accept that this game is as good as gone with just over 15 minutes left to play and his side trailing by 3 goals.
Yeah, you would have to imagine if this starting side can't get anywhere near Celtic. I know you can always have good options on the bench, but I don't see how making 3 changes is going to make a huge difference for Slovan Bratislava.
Just a bit of freshness, James. That's all. And they're young. I think there may be a couple of young players coming also to get a wee bit of exposure to this level of play. You'd be thinking about other games coming up too. Yeah,
I just mean that's probably the reason why it's maybe not to go and try and change the course of the game, or change the course of the game. Celtic have been different class tonight.
Here comes Celtic down the left-hand side. Lovely ball from Atati. Maida scoops that away beyond James Forrest, who was coming in, and got that one all wrong. Maida having done so well just a few minutes ago. I think it's going to be a triple change from either side, which is going to test my ability to do my numbers quickly enough. But let's see. Vladimir Weiss is one of the players who is being replaced, which is greeted by huge cheers from the home fans. Also coming off is Ignyatenko, who's been pretty poor in all honesty, and the other player making way is Tigran Barsegian, who hasn't been all that impressive either. The 3 Celtic players about to come on: Paulo Bernardo, Adamida and Anthony Ralston. And we're about to learn who will come off. Well, it's a straight swap for Johnston coming off for Ralston. He is on that yellow card, of course, but he has been powering up and down that right flank all game long. Ida to replace Kyogo, who's got on the score sheet. And finally it's Rio Hatate who will make way for Paulo Bernardo. So a triple change from both sides, and just an opportunity for these other 3 Celtic players to come on and make a bit of an impression in the closing 13 or 14 minutes.
Yeah, just do a job, do a good job. They don't have to just keep playing in the same way the Celtic have always played. They don't have to try anything else, just as a freshness, and it also allows these other players to get a bit of a rest.
Yeah, Adamida's going to want a goal. Paulo Bernardo want to get in on the action as well. Benefits of having such a strong squad.
It's a goal kick for Slovan, and played out from the right-hand side. Mack, another Slovakian veteran, and plays it back to Kutska, who's taking the armband on from Weiss. Not the return to Celtic Park he wanted, that's for sure. His side trailing by 4-1 and heading for defeat as Ralston picks up and tries to drive Celtic forward. He looked like he was fouled. Indeed, the referee agrees and awards a free kick to Celtic over on the far side. The Celtic right more or less on the halfway line as they look to see out the final 13 minutes unscathed with a 4-1 lead they currently hold. Down the right hand side goes Celtic. One's cut out though and picked up by Savidis, the Greek midfielder. He was on in place of Ignatenko. Slovan have a free kick now over on the far side, left hand side, but they will hope that their future Champions League experience it's a bit easier than this. As I say, the next one's not going to be, that's for sure, at home to Man City, but they'll hope to pick up a few points along the way, as well as an experience for their first time in the Champions League. Here's on the far side Mack coming up towards the Celtic penalty area, back with Kutska, and now out with Blackman right hand side, still midway inside the Celtic half. Back it goes to Kasia, and then he plays it square to Bajric. Bajric out to the left hand side to Savidis, and he tries to play on for Rimmer, but Celtic still biting into the challenges. That's a good bit of play there from Strelic, and that's going to be a booking for Cameron Carter-Vickers, who pulled him back as Strelic got the better of him.
Yeah, it was a silly foul. He almost dived in, and it was, I think he got nutmegged, did he?
Looked like it.
Yeah, and they ended up pulling him back. But you don't want to pick up silly bookings either, you know, that's for sure. There's a long way to go in this.
Natural reaction, though, isn't it? I mean, he will know that there's people there covering for him. But yeah, it's a crazy book.
Left hand side then, the free kick is taken in low to the penalty area. It comes, it's hacked away. Celtic play it down the right hand side. Maida will give chase. Maida is just beaten through that there at the back by Bajric. Split second between Maida and Bajric getting there. Otherwise Maida would have been in behind and away for a fifth goal.
I think if it went earlier, he hesitated a little bit at the start and a little bit at the end. Pulled out of the challenge almost at the end, which I can understand, the 4-1 up, but if it goes a little bit earlier, he's bearing through in goal.
Thrown over on the far side to Celtic to be taken by Ralston, midway inside his own half. Celtic 4, Slovan Bratislava 1. The bulk of the hard work was done at the start of the second half, adding to the 1-goal advantage by quick goals from Kyogo and an Engels penalty. Slovan got one back, but Maida made it 4-1, and it's Maida in possession here, left hand side with 10 to play, looking to try and create one more as he goes back the way to McGregor. McGregor for Scales, who opened the scoring. Now Carter-Vickers out to Ralston. Ralston back to Carter-Vickers, just backpedaling into his own half, as it's square for Scales once more. Now picked up by McGregor. McGregor out to the left for Maida. Celtic still hungry for further goals. It's Bernardo who will perhaps have a point to prove. Out to Forrest, angle of the box, right hand side. Forrest into the penalty area, gets the shot away, but it's blocked behind for a corner. 9 minutes left. Celtic 4, Slovan 1.
Yeah, really good play from Celtic. Good control play. You know, just playing through thirds of the pitch and everybody looking for the ball when the player's on. Has got control, and that them little angles allows you then to just progress up the pitch. Really good.
Yeah, it's excellent play. Callum McGregor stepping in midfield. Paulo Bernardo's nice little touch and switch of play. And so often we see it. Anthony Ralston making the overlap. James Forrest should probably slip him in. He's desperate for a goal, but he should slip him in. He does in the middle of the box. Potential to get that 5th goal.
Still potential for that to happen with 7.5 to play as Engels sends it into the box and misses a couple of players. Slovan struggling to get it absolutely clear. Still they try. Ida is in there, but the referee has spotted an infringement in the end on the edge of the box, and it will be a Slovan free kick with into the closing minutes of the game. And it's still 4-1 Celtic. Savidis picks up deep inside his own half, out to Blackman, right hand side, plays it off Maida. It will be a Celtic throw-in.
No.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. Although Brendan Rodgers was claiming it's actually gone Slovan's way, and but now it's a Celtic throw as Kasia just knocks it out of play.
You knew it was coming
Yeah,
out.
I was preempting that. I knew that Celtic were going to quickly win it back, as they have done all the
time,
all
wasn't
evening.
it? Only a matter of time before they get a turnover and get a throw in or win the ball back anyway.
Looks like Austin Trusty's going to come on for his Celtic debut in the last few minutes of this game. The American, I wonder if it'll be an all-American central defensive pairing of Carter Vickers and Austin Trusty. We shall see.
If he takes Scales off or takes off
He is left-footed, isn't he?
He is. Naturally, you would probably see Scales come on. Scales had a really, really good game tonight.
Carter Vickers been booked though.
Yeah.
Don't know if, I mean, he's not the type to fly into rash challenges, but
well, they've lost it. Kuczka on the edge of the box now. Strelec goes for goal, not far off target there. Again, just a little bit of slackness from Celtic, and although Brendan Rodgers will be hugely pleased with the performance of his side, he won't want that slackness to creep into the side despite the 4-1 advantage. But it will be a goal kick. Celtic 4, Slovan 1.
Yeah, it was a silly little ball into midfield there from Carter Vickers. He left, I think, Ingles with no choice.
Substitution for Celtic. The player coming on, number 20.
Yeah, it's number 20, Cameron Carter Vickers, who's coming off. And it's Austin Trusty who will come on to partner Liam Scales for the final 6 minutes for his Celtic debut. Signed on deadline day from Sheffield United, having joined them from Arsenal the previous summer. With Rangers supposed to have been interested at that point, but nothing came of that, and here he is at Celtic.
Coming on for Celtic and making his debut.
As you can hear the announcer in the background announcing the arrival of Austin Trusty. He'll go and take that right centre-back role, as there's a couple of changes also for Slovan, as on comes Jesse Mitsoko. He's going to go on up front. I think Strelec has made way for him, and also coming on Artur Gaidos,
And also going off was
and Kuczka, I think, has made way for him. Nod from James McFadden tells me I got that one right for once. So Slovan in possession over on the left-hand side. 5 to play, series of substitutions made, and you imagine this game is just going to rather peter out perhaps, but Celtic will still look to add to their advantage for their 4-1 they lead going into these closing stages. And here's Maida robbing Kasia, far more alert than aware. The Japanese tries to play a little disguised pass in for Paulo Bernardo, comes off a Slovan defender. The keeper's able to keep it in, and it will remain 4-1 for the moment at least.
yeah, it was on for Maida just to keep sprinting. Adam Eder made the move, but he's maybe thinking about his last cross to his left foot. Not that confident. Paulo Bernardo's made the run, as we so often see, from that inside into the little inside channel. It just takes a deflection to take it away from him.
Celtic have it through Liam Scales, finds Forrest. Forrest picks up and then begins to drive forward, looks to slip in. He does a wonderful ball. Adamina! Number 5 for Celtic, and it's Adamina off and running on his return to Celtic. He was denied a goal at the weekend. He won't be denied that one. It's a wonderful assist from James Forrest, slipping him in, and he had the beating of the defender for pace, and he knocked it past the goalkeeper to make it Celtic 5, Slovan Bratislava 1.
Well, that starts from his Irish teammate, doesn't it? At the back, playing the ball into space for Forrest, and then as soon as Forrest picks it up and drives forward, you can see Adam play it into that space, play it in there, play it beyond this, and I'll beat him for pace. And then what a great finish, James.
It's a brilliant goal, as you said. Liam Scales stepping in, finding James Forrest, and Adam Eder comes from the central area and runs out wide, knowing fine well to stretch that back line. James Forrest gets acres of space. He's got all the time in the world to get the perfect way to pass, just in between left centre back and left back. Adam Eder makes the run, and when he gets in there, it's not a fantastic angle for him, but he just slots it beyond the goalkeeper. Takat's got absolutely no chance. It's a wonderful goal again from Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely was, and what a performance it has been from Celtic. Well,
think everyone associated with the club and us as some of us as objective onlookers did fancy a Celtic victory, but they are more than delivered this evening. First half was a little bit tighter, obviously, just going in at 1-0, but second half, boy, they have put Slovan to the sword, and they lead by 5-1 as Slovan have a free kick here just outside the Celtic penalty area to be taken by Tolitz, right hand side, sends it in. Ida's back there to defend it. McGregor sends it high in the air, not completely clear. Slovan will try and get a second consolation here, but it's not going to be forthcoming as Maida smashes it up to the halfway line, but it's collected by Pirates. Pirates plays it out to the left hand side. 5-1 they trail the visitors. It's been quite the initiation into Champions League football for them. As Kasia has given it straight to Maida, and Celtic strike once more. Forrest was taken out off the ball, and the referee realises there was no advantage there for Celtic, and he's given Celtic the free kick 10 yards inside Slovan territory. 2 minutes left of the 90 plus a bit of stoppage time to come, and Celtic leading by 5-1. What a scoreline this is.
Yeah, I think there'll be about 6 or 7 minutes with all the subs that come on, but that allows maybe Celtic to grab a 6. They were nearly in there on that particular occasion. Just the final ball.
Back in possession over on the right hand side, and it's Forrest who's looked sharp since coming on. Looks to combine there with Bernardo. He felt he was taken out on the edge of the box. The referee had a good view of it and says there was nothing wrong with the challenge, and it's out over on the far side for a Slovan throw. We're into the final minute of the 90, and we'll keep an eye on the fourth official here, who will shortly show us exactly how much time is to be added on. But Celtic have continued a wonderful start to the season, you'd have to say. Domestically, yes, they've been untouchable, but there was always this slight question, would they be able to produce that on the European stage as well? Well, the answer certainly this evening has been a resounding Gene McFadden yes.
Yeah, it has. I think the most impressive part and most enjoyable thing is in every department Celtic are better. They've shown their class when they've had the ball. So many times we see Scottish teams in Europe where they're outclassed. They don't look as comfortable on the ball in possession. They've shown unbelievable appetite to go and chase the ball down. Their work rate's been phenomenal. Overall, the quality has been so much higher than Slovan Bratislava, and it's really good to see at this stage that Scottish teams can have that impact.
Just 2 minutes to be added on, which is slightly odd given the number of substitutions that have taken place. There certainly haven't been any injury stoppages, but yeah, you're meant to add on, I think, 30 seconds per substitution, but I don't think too many folk will argue at just a couple of minutes. Celtic are home and dry in terms of the victory. Slovan won't want it to get any worse, but here they come looking for a second goal of their own. Down the right hand side, Blackburn though stopped in his tracks by Maida. 90 seconds remaining then. Celtic heading for an emphatic victory as Savides picks up, tries to find a teammate out to the right hand side. It comes Blackman. Blackman gets a cross in, it deflects off Maida and onto the roof of the net. Schmeichel was toiling there, it was almost in threat of dipping under the crossbar. Fortunately for him, it's over the top, and it will be a Slovan corner to pretty much finish up this game as Celtic head for 3 points in their opening Champions League fixture. They can be well pleased with themselves tonight, Packy.
Yeah, very, very good. Excellent, excellent. I think the other impressive thing was that when they lost the goal, they just kept doing what they were doing really well. They didn't panic, and that was important, and they got the goal right.
Tolitz right hand side sends the corner in, and Anthony Ralston rises to knock it clear. Forrest tries to help it on. Will come out to Mack on that far side. Slovan pick up once more, played out to Tolitz on the right hand side. Can they get a second goal back here in the dying seconds? Cross to the back post it goes. Mack once more tries to get the shot in the near post, and he claims it got a touch on his way through, and the officials agree it will be a corner kick again over on the far side this time. The Slovan left. The 2 minutes of injury time have come and gone, so this will be just about all over once this corner kick is dealt with by Callum McGregor at the near post, and Celtic Park rises in acclaim of a quite fantastic opening day performance in the Champions League from the home superb second half display after a really good first half in which they got the opening goal through Liam Scales, but second half they simply blew them away. A second goal arrived a couple of minutes after the interval as Kuhn found Kyogo from a couple of yards out to knock over the line. Then Alistair Johnston won a penalty 10 minutes into the second half when he was caught by Ignyatenko, and up stepped Arne Engels, who once again turned in a wonderful display of his own. The young man looks a terrific signing, and he dispatched the penalty away to the left-hand side of Dominic Takacs and into the bottom corner to make it 3-0. A little bit of a hiccup on the hour mark as Wimmer's shot from the angle of the box on the left-hand side deflected into the top corner of Kasper Schmeichel, just to give Slovan something of a glimmer of hope. But that was soon extinguished by Dyson Maida, who finished really well at the end of a wonderful move between himself, Kyogo and Hatate with 20 minutes to play. And with 3 minutes left on the clock, Adam Ida put the icing on the cake, played in wonderfully by James Forrest to slot home for his first goal since his return to Celtic Park. It has overall been a tremendous night for all associated with Celtic inside this wonderful stadium. It finishes on match day 1 of the Champions League. Celtic 5, Slovan Bratislava 1.
Celtic